Could you tell us about Devil's Workshop and your character in the film?
Devil's Workshop is a wild ride. Um, it describes the experience of a young, ambitious, not that successful actor who is about to audition for the role of his life, where he will be playing a demonologist. And in order to prepare, he wants to meet a real demonologist. And unbeknownst to him, he's being drawn into the web of Eliza Atwood, who is very circumspect.
Mhm. You've done it all throughout your career. What was it about this particular script and character that stood out to you?
I've always played the good guy, and in this case, I was playing the bad guy. So that was the main thing. What a great opportunity it was. I'd always been curious what it was like on the other side, and having had that experience, it's more fun to be bad, I have to tell you.
Yeah, without giving any spoilers, there's this intense roller coaster that Clayton and Eliza go on throughout this film, which I imagine requires a lot of trust between you and your fellow actors. What was it like working with Tim as you brought that dynamic to life?
Well, Tim's an amazing actor, and I was so lucky to work with him because he was so committed. Because obviously it was an experimental project, and neither of us knew exactly, whether we were going to have egg on our face or not. But instead of being afraid of that possibility, I think we both kind of like jumped in, and especially Tim, who brought a lot of amazing energy and sincerity and humor to the role. I was just lucky to be working with someone like him.
This is like you were saying earlier, this is a different role that we've seen you play in the past. Is there a particular scene that you're really excited for audiences to see when the film drops uh, later this week?
I think the final scene, yeah, the crescendo scene. What we're doing is really interesting, and also the scenes that Emil does are really fun. They kind of juxtapose with what we're doing. There's this kind of mirror story going on, and I think it all complements really well. And I guess the kind of the whacked out scene is where the story moves, and the big kind of crescendo at the end.
And Christopher does such a fantastic job integrating a lot of really universal themes in this backdrop of a horror thriller. Was there a theme that hit home for you?
I think, for anybody who wants something, I think the movie kind of talks to that, this this idea that there's something outside of yourself that you need, things that you're driven towards, that maybe you kind of lose yourself in the process of trying to accomplish. I think is a theme that people can relate to. In this case, it's an actor who wants to make it in Hollywood, and obviously as actors, there's some familiarity with that. So yeah, I think we didn't really even discuss it. I think it was just implicit that there was some understanding of what that meant.
Yeah, perfect. I go to this next question, but in the film, we see Clayton, the extremes that he'll go to get an audition and a role. What's the craziest thing you've ever done for a part?
Oh, to get the role. I'm trying to think. I I think just my whole adventure to even become an actress was a little crazy. Like I basically took a suitcase to Hollywood. I didn't know what was going to happen, and I stayed on my manager's couch. I didn't even know my manager at the time. So yeah, that whole kind of experiment was pretty crazy when you think about it.
Yeah, great answer. You've done it all throughout your career. You've worked on projects of all sizes. What is it about independent filmmaking that excites you as a creative, and specifically this genre as well?
Well, I think this genre in particular it doesn't have rules really. If there are rules, then the object is to break them. So as a creative, there's space for innovation and there's space to play. And there's no real concern about offending people or saying the wrong thing. And the idea would be to figure out what is the wrong thing to say. Maybe we'll just say that. To be to play, I think, and to rebel, I think, is this space.